Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to CHE 411, our local TV program to provide health education. November is Diabetes Awareness Month, and we've been talking about diabetes and explaining what it is and what you can do to prevent it. And today we have Lisa Redwing that will tell us her story about her journey with diabetes. But before we get any further, I just want to let everybody know that at IHS, out of the people we serve there are over 700 people with diabetes, with type 2 diabetes. And some people are in control of their diabetes and some aren't. Our goal is to get everybody at 7% or lower for their A1C. There's a lot of misconceptions about diabetes. Some people think that once you are diagnosed with type 2 diabetes, that it's the end of the world, that you're going to die, you'll die an early death, or you're for sure going to lose a limb. That doesn't have to be the case. If you can manage your diabetes well and do like for every other health issue is, take care of your health, exercising and eating right, you can live a good quality of life with diabetes. And I know I have, some relatives too that don't take care of their diabetes too. So, but the thing is, it can be managed. Let me see what else. I think those are the two main things I wanted to say. But our health is, it's all intertwined with everything else that goes on with our life, with our stress, with our history. And we need to take into account our whole aspect of our life, our mental health, our physical health, and in order to be healthy. Anyways, we're going to let Lisa tell her story. So when were you first diagnosed?
I was first diagnosed in April of 2006.
2006.
Yep. And I was angry about it. I was in total denial of it for about 6 months. I'm a big woman. I am. I'm not a skinny mini by any means, but I was a lot bigger back then. And I had one of the IHS doctors at that time. She told me that if I didn't get my weight under control, I probably wouldn't see 55.
Wow.
And I was well into 325, 350 pounds at that time. And I had just started Weight Watchers. So I give a lot of gratitude to Weight Watchers who helped me. But along the way, being in Weight Watchers, I found out that I was diabetic. And I always prided myself on, even though I was a big woman, I wasn't diabetic. I could always say that, okay, I'm not diabetic. But when it happened, I was so angry. Oh, I was mad. I wasn't even mad at myself. I was just mad, But after after realizing, okay, now you about 6 months, 5 months later, so I had to say, okay, you got to do something about this now, So, and at that time, my sugar was still going like 14, 15. It was that high, and so I just kept on with Weight Watchers. Lost about 135 pounds, and slowly my sugar came down. Slowly, but it didn't happen overnight, And it took me to pay attention to what I was eating, actually what I was doing. And one thing I always liked doing was walking. So it was one thing that I picked up. I used to like to go walk, and I still do, in the old baseball field in town, the old track.
Oh, yeah.
Late at night when nobody was around, nobody would see me. And it's good, like 10, 11 o'clock at night in the summertime, I'd be walking, And slowly, over the years, it has come down. I'm type 2. I'm just on medication. I take 2 diabetic pills a day. I will not. I've been offered insulin that said it will help me better, but to me, I just can't do the insulin. If I can manage what I'm doing, pay attention to what I'm doing, I have no desire to be on insulin whatsoever. Mine is to stay on the pills. Now, I checked it. I think my A1C, it's been about a month now since I checked it. And I go in about every 6 months. I'll go in and do that full scope of panels that you have to do at the pharmacy, the lab and everything. It runs between like a 6.5 and 6.2.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Yeah, so I've gotten it way down there, but I can tell now when I don't have to worry so much now about my sugar going high as much as I have to worry about it going low.
Right.
You know, that's
The
my,
lowest part.
yeah, and I mean, you can tell when that's coming on.
Yep.
It makes you very weak. You know, I usually have orange juice around, or carry a little bag of candy in my purse.
Mhm.
You know, something that I can take. But, you know, and I guess one of the reasons I wanted to come on here today and talk about being diabetic was I see a lot of young people nowadays
Yes.
who carry so much weight.
That's true.
And usually people don't start thinking about their health till their late 40s, early
Mhm.
50s. They don't think when they're in their 20s and 30s and they're
Right.
carrying an extra 50 pounds, you know,
Mhm.
and it's not even so much we as Indian people, like even on our reservation,
Mhm.
it's in our legs or our arms, it's in our stomachs.
Yeah.
You know, it's in our
Yeah.
hips, it's around us, you know, and that really is wear and tear in our body.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, we just
Mhm.
I wish people would take a look at what they're doing, and I know there's probably reasons why they're like that. They're stay-at-home moms. They don't get much exercise. You know, it's usually the foods they have to eat to
Yep.
fix their kids. You know, to feed their own kids. You know, but pay attention to that, because once you're diabetic, I mean, it's
Can't
going to
go-
stay with you.
You can't go back.
No,
Yep.
you cannot. It's going to stay with you, but you can live a quality life yet.
Right.
You know, I mean, you can. And people always think, oh my God, I can't eat sweets anymore. And that's
Mhm.
not even it.
Mm-mm.
It's the pastas and the bread and
Right.
the potatoes. Those are the things that are going to get you now.
Yep.
You know, those are the things that.
So, we do have that's one of the things they notice in a lot of the studies these days is that diabetes is becoming diagnosed in the younger people,
Mm.
you know, younger and younger. And sometimes we've even got it in these middle school kids. And that is a scary thought.
Yeah.
And so one of the things, you know, one of what we're trying to do or what we'd like to see happening, of course, is nutrition, changing our nutrition and such. But, you know, I kind of think a lot of it has to do with the foods we eat.
Yep.
So much of it is frozen and prepared and
Yeah.
pre-processed, and all we have to do is nuke it.
Yep.
Now, they're always telling us fresh food that you make yourself is always healthier.
Mhm.
So if we got, and you notice in the school too, they got those guidelines changed. PE doesn't always have to be every day or every other day, like when I was in high school. And then also, they changed their food that's not homemade anymore. A lot of time that stuff's
yeah.
like chicken nuggets
Yeah.
and, you know, a lot of pre-made stuff. And so those have a lot of extra calories.
Well, you know what? One thing people need to realize who are listening to this today or whenever they listen to it is that it's our responsibility to take care of our health.
Mm-hmm.
It's my responsibility to take care of my health. It's
Right.
your responsibility. It's not IHS.
Right.
It's not another doctor at another clinic.
Mm-hmm.
It's your responsibility to take care of what you're doing to your body.
Correct.
And when people say, you always see it on commercials, well, if I can do it, you can do it. That's not true. I don't believe that. People, when you're ready to take care of yourself, you'll know it. Sometimes it may take a crisis,
Mm-hmm.
you know, but you need to be the one to take care of your body and what you put in it and how you take care of it. You know, when you go see a doctor, it's your responsibility.
Right.
You know,
That's
I mean,
good.
it's
That's a good
more than
point.
anything.
That's
you
a
know.
very good point.
Yeah.
So today, now, what would you say is the hardest part of managing your diabetes today?
Oh, that's a good question. Well, you know, I'm not a big meat eater because I have a lap band.
Okay.
Once I lost all my weight, I had a lap band put in, and then I've had 3 so far skin removal surgeries.
Wow.
Because after you've been as big as I was for so many years, you lose the elasticity in your stomach,
Oh.
so the skin just hangs down. And I just had another one. I just got done with one this year in January. I was out a whole month.
Wow.
You know, and I think more than anything, just paying attention to what you eat, when you eat, because even when you eat is important. Not
Mhm.
late at night. You shouldn't be eating a 3-course meal or even a big hamburger and fries 10, 11 o'clock at night. That's not good for you.
Right.
You know, that's not good at all. You know,
Mhm.
eat 3, if not, I eat about 4 small meals only because that's what I need to do.
Mhm.
I figured that out once I got my lap band in, but
Yep.
but that even helps with my diabetes because it's telling me certain things, you know, are going on, you know, with
Mhm.
my body that shouldn't be happening and should be happening, and
Okay.
you know. But I think awareness more than anything,
Yep.
awareness of what's out there, what I do, I love dancing. I mean, anybody knows me, I love dancing, you know, so I try and do that. I do that just about every weekend, you know.
Okay.
But I like walking. I'm by no means an angel when it comes to eating, because one of my biggest downfalls, and I have not been able to give it up, is Diet Coke. I've tried. Honest goodness, I've tried. But I do drink at least 2 or 3 bottles of water a day. You know, I think you're supposed to be drinking more, really. My niece Sarah Lincoln's always trying to get me to the fitness center, but I'm not comfortable going there.
Oh, yeah.
You know, but
Yeah.
I like walking. I just right now is kind of my downtime to walk. You know, but once it starts warming up again, you know. But I think just being aware, I mean, if we're aware of what we do and how we feel when we eat certain foods, then we'll know whether we should be eating those certain foods,
Right.
you know.
So have you ever done the basics classes or the healthy living classes that Delane and Public Health Nursing
The only
sponsors or
one-
puts on?
No, the only ones I did was when I did any classes with anybody was when Valinda was here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
All
way
right.
that was way back in 2006. Because the day she told me I was diabetic, she said, let's take your sugar. And it was like 15 something. And then we walked around Tekakwitha, the whole nursing home, down that hill and back up around and everything. And we came back and it was, I think it was down to like 11. She said, see
Wow.
what happens when you do.
Okay,
But, you know, she kept on me. You
Yeah.
know, she was one of those that kept saying, you know, you
Good.
can't hide from it, Lisa. You can't hide. But if I did anything, I did it with her. You
Yeah,
know, and that's
okay.
kind of where I'm at.
All right. So what a lot of times, but we have, I guess they didn't always have an A1C, or at least that easy finger stick they could do. But they can do that now. PHN does it a lot at the booths when they're out and about.
Yep.
And that's like with the screening, so then they send you to the lab to get an official draw, a blood
Yep.
draw.
Yep.
And if people come back with pre-diabetes, that range, I can't remember what it is, 5.7 to 6.2, I think it is. But anyways, that pre-diabetic range, there's a lot of people in that range. And like the diabetes prevention program, they really want to target these people so that they can make that lifestyle change to bring that A1C down so they won't develop type 2 diabetes. And that's, I don't know, it's kind of, I don't know if that's hard or not. I was diagnosed with diabetes in 2012. And of course that scared me too, and I was kind of shocked, and I was mad because I wanted to know how come nobody ever said anything.
Well, you know, food and what we eat contributes to this a lot. But you know, when I was at my heaviest, you'd always tell you, don't do drugs, don't smoke, don't drink alcohol. But nobody ever told me, Lisa, don't eat.
Yeah.
Nobody ever told me that.
Yeah.
And I was a person people came and got to go out and eat, and or my mom and dad had come to my house and I'd cook supper, and nobody ever told me, don't cook that anymore, don't do that.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
And I could see way back then how I got to where I'm at
Yeah.
now. I can see
You know,
that.
and one thing, you know, because I would go to my appointments every year to get that annual checkup where they check your cholesterol and all of that. And then they just tell me that, you know, everything was good. And apparently back then, I don't even know when they started doing the A1Cs, but anyways, there had to have been a thing. They would tell me I needed to lose weight. And I'm like, well, and then like everybody's overweight. But they tell me to lose weight, and I'm like, okay, but the diabetes was never mentioned. You know what I mean? And at that time, you'd have to know. Somebody should have said, we have to be aware that diabetes is a possibility, and it wasn't even on my radar at all.
No.
And so, like for everybody today, that's what we want you to be aware of, that being overweight and not eating healthy and being not physically active are all risk factors to developing diabetes. And one thing that I learned a lot about diabetes, because we didn't always have the diabetes prevention program, and we didn't always have public health nursing teaching the basics or the healthy living classes. And so when I first was diagnosed, we had Valinda, but then she retired shortly after, and it took them, just forever to finally get another dietitian. They had a few, but they didn't stay. And so there was nobody to teach education about diabetes. And now we have it. We have if you're pre-diabetic, they will hopefully put in a referral or ask you if they can refer you, and you'll get people calling you left and right to, join the program or go to the basics class or do whatever you can to learn about diabetes and, how it can be prevented and then how to manage it. So that's the good thing we have. That's, a real good positive. And I think one thing that we should make note of, that everybody should be aware of, is that we get this service for free as Native American peoples at the Diabetes Prevention Center and at IHS. The services that we receive are free for us. If we lived out in the, not on the reservation, if we lived anywhere else, a membership at a club would cost way more than that. And learning these special classes like the healthy living classes that Delane Rasmussen from IHS, the nutritionist, does, you're looking at $200.
Yeah.
So that's another, we need to be aware of that, and I think and appreciative of it, and take advantage of it. I don't know. You never know if this stuff will ever go away or not. It's not supposed to, but you never know. Let me see what else. Anything else that you wanted to add?
If families could just pay attention to the older people in their family and how their health is, and if these are your grandpa and grandma, this is your mom and dad, you may have the same health risks they have.
Right.
I know of a young man right now, as a matter of fact, his mother has passed away, but she was diabetic. The family had a history of diabetes really bad.
Oh, wow.
And here this young man, just recently got out of the hospital, and he's dealing with his diabetes, and we have young people on our reservation who've lost, probably in their early 30s, who've already lost legs.
That's right.
Lost their, because their family, now if you look at the history of their family, diabetes is really bad with their parents, and, pay attention to that, because you remember your kids are watching you also.
Right.
And what you do, they're going to follow, that's just it. That's just the nature of law, that's just it, so.
Okay.
But if anything, pay attention to what you're doing to yourself, and you are the boss of your body. You are the boss of what you need to have done. Remember, your health is in your hands, not somebody else's. And IHS is there to help you, not make you better, but help you.
Oh, very good.
That's the whole thing.
Yeah.
So.
All right. Well, thank you very much.
Yep.
So reminder, everybody, if you can know your numbers, know your A1C, know your blood pressure, know your cholesterol. And if you have any concerns or questions, talk with one of the providers at IHS. We have several new ones out there, and they're all pretty helpful. And that's it for today. Thank you.